A few episodes ago, I talked about getting over myself and just starting the Open Day Collective. This is what happens after that. Because honestly, I used to think that getting started was the hardest part. While there is an absolute terror in doing that first step, once you're over it, I've learned that's not the hardest part. The hardest part's honestly on a random Tuesday night where you're still building and it's not where you want it to be yet, but you still show up, figuring it out, hoping you're doing the right things and taking the right steps. So episode 6, this is what it looks like while building from the inside. If you're new here, episode 4 has the entire origin story on why this started. Go watch that first. If you already have, welcome. Now we get to talk about what day-to-day looks like. So here's the honest current state of Open Day Collective. I recently just had a solo apparel drop for 3 new shirts added to the store, all with statements and reminders that you can bring out into the real world. I'm on episode 6 of YouTube. Thanks for coming back, or welcome. We have free printables for prompts for June, a Sunday reset printable, and a 3-line morning to help reset each day. And then also, my most growth is actually happening in TikTok right now because I'm almost learning how this algorithm works. We'll see. And I'm pushing to get towards the 1,000 followers because that's where it unlocks the link in the bio. I know my actual growth plan is based on a number of followers, but that's where I am right now. And one of the questions I actually have received a few times is, why is my Open Day Collective account on a personal account, not a business account? And this is something I really had to research and think about what made sense for where I am right now. And honestly, in the personal account, you get a wide range of audio and music and usually trending sounds. And that does help with what's getting pushed out into the algorithm. So right now, I had to make the decision that this made more sense for where I am. This can always change and I can always pivot, but it was a question I'd received and I wanted to be clear and tell you what I was able to research and find in case it would help you with a decision. So in episode 4, I did mention having systems and processes in place as I'm building, and looking back, it almost felt like I had this all figured out. Spoiler alert, I don't yet. I'm still building it out as I go, but I have created a very specific rule that I do follow every time I'm doing this, because if not, I get incredibly overwhelmed. So it's 1 session, 1 project. I know that sounds crazy, especially for me, because I always have multiple things going on in my head at the same time. But this is something I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out what's the right call. What does consistency look like? How do I show up authentically? And I've learned as I'm deep in one project, I will think about 10 other things. And then I used to go down the rabbit hole. And then I realized the original thing I was working on didn't turn out the way I needed it to, or I had to go back and fix it. And then I really forgot the full momentum on the other ones. It was a mess. I would spiral. So I really created 1 session, 1 project. That's not saying I can't do multiple sessions in a day, but when I sit down today doing and filming my YouTube, that's what I'm focused on. Even though I have multiple Canva documents open that I probably want to finish, more printables I want to work on, a new digital product to come out. Right now, we're here. And it's been incredibly helpful to kind of force myself to focus and give my all, because that's the only way I've learned I really can learn, grow, and get better. And honestly, right now, that's my main system. I have a ton of other things that I work with, but I've built it all around 1 project, 1 session. And the way I do that is I built a dashboard in my Notion page, which let me know if you'd like to see more about it. I have a whole command center there on everything I'm doing and what I'm working on. But I have a dashboard that lives in my Notion page I've titled Parking Lot. And it's so easy where in the middle of doing something, let's say I do have an idea or something I wanted to continue working on, I will take no more than 10 seconds and put that idea in the parking lot. I've also learn from my failure. Don't just put one word like email and assume future years going to remember what that is. So I've been honest with myself. I give myself 10 seconds, write a few words to trigger my memory on what that project was about or what that idea was about. And then every Sunday when I'm planning out my week, I pull up the parking lot. Hysterical that it's called that, but it's easy for my brain to think of it. I pull it up and see what are projects that are in line with what I want to focus on this week and then schedule them out. And now I get to, instead of rushing on the side to work on something quickly, I'm giving myself a full block of time to focus on this and see, does this make sense or does it work? And again, I want to be very clear with this one session, one project. One session can absolutely be me focusing on a Canva project and realizing I hate the way it looks at the end, and then closing my laptop and walking away. That session, still successful, is complete. I want to go more into what I talked about in episode 4, is where I'm still learning the difference on what's busy and what's moving the needle. Because honestly, it's really tempting to do all of the busy work, organize my Canva projects, organize my files, reorganize my Notion dashboard, because technically I am doing something. Technically I am fixing things to help my brain slow down or calm down, but it's not the things that I've decided help me move the needle, help me move Open Day Collective forward. And that's been really tough in figuring out, hey, sometimes I just want a little pick me up going, I did something that I felt was productive, or something that I felt I actually got something done that I wanted to focus on. And for me, right now, I've decided moving the needle really revolves around content. So it's been focusing on these specific sessions, learning how to do better, seeing what else is out there, what makes sense. And honestly, I've learned the needle is really my content. So for me, if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, it's probably moving my brain forward. And it's worth it. So I keep showing up, one session, one project to get this done. And I want to talk about the part that sometimes doesn't make it in the day in my life content when building a brand. There are weeks where you are fully bought in, ready to go. And then there are moments and times where you are trying to figure out, did I make the right move? And they can happen on the same day. But honestly, the thing I've been focusing on lately, and I've been realizing a lot, is I have this push and pull that I feel. I feel a pull to accelerate the brand, to get to a viral moment, to launch something even before it may be really ready, just because I'm so uncomfortable in the waiting period. So I want to skip ahead. And then I have a pull where I want to stay really quiet because this is so uncomfortable and I don't want to fail. And so I don't want to take these big leaps. And I will have these moments all at the same time sometimes because I believe so much in what the mission is with Open Day that I want it to accelerate. But then I'm like, is that really what I want today? Is this really what I'm ready for? Or is this what everyone wants? And so I'm constantly in this battle in my own brain, figuring out, does this make sense? I'm really ready. And I'm constantly just still, at the end of the day, showing up. And by showing up, I don't give in to either pull or push because I've tried to rush things out. I've tried to stay really quiet. And honestly, I don't think either works. I just need to show up every day with the parking lot, doing one session and one project, and have this grow because I am seeing movement. And it is moving in the direction I want. And I'm getting comments and feedback on people who understand what it's like to reclaim your time. So I always need to trust myself, and patience, while very difficult for me, is worth it, especially here. And again, as uncomfortable as this is to be honest about, I'm learning these are the things that move the needle for my brand. These are the things that matter because this is why I built it. So I want to be honest with everything I'm doing and what's happening behind the scenes. When I use my tagline every day on purpose, it really is how I'm building this brand. On purpose, how I show up, on purpose, when I take breaks, all of these things matter. And it's something that I really am forcing myself to live by because towards the beginning, I knew where I wanted this to go and I knew the purpose of it, but I got so caught up in that pull to accelerate that I just stopped doing any of those things for myself. And there were times and weeks where this brand felt completely overwhelming. And then I would get incredibly depressed because it's not where I thought it should be. But I was like, wait, step back. I've done a lot. So the everyday on purpose is an honest choice. Not just that I hope you make, but it's something that I make every day so that I can live by this and help myself. So I use the on purpose whenever everything gets really loud, when all of my voices in my head are telling me, I'm not ready, this isn't enough, what am I doing? Or I should be here, comparing myself to someone else. The on purpose for me is just a reminder that this is a choice I'm making and this is something I have a belief in. So take your time and work through it one step at a time. Sorry. I know everyone's heard the saying, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And ideally, I get it. And I know that that makes sense. And this is something that you have to grow over time. And when I'm in it, that's how I want to work on it. It's just sometimes it's a reminder that I am not sprinting to the end because I won't learn as much as I need to if I want this to last. So this is absolutely a marathon and something anyone building anything can always remind themselves. Here's what I want Open Day Collective to be: a safe space for those who have been good at so many things, but they've all been about someone else's expectations. So this is to give them the permission to see what it is that they want to build. What is it that they want to focus on? I also want this to be a brand that can prove that you can build something without burning out, because you're learning to manage your energy and not just your time. There'll be products that can hold the practice that you're doing, little statements to bring out into the real world, accessories and stationaries that help you write down what the moments that matter are to you, little reminders to take that time to make space for something that you've been putting off. And honestly, for me, I want this to be my full-time work. And I'm saying it here to keep myself accountable and to let you know that this is something I fully believe in and want to build. And to say it here so early in episode 6 to the few subscribers I have, hopefully they'll go up. For people who found it this early, they get it and it means something. So again, I do want to be accountable to you as this grows. So if you're watching this and you know someone that's trying to build something, or you know someone that has been so good at building up everyone else's expectations and not taking the time to think about what they want, share this with them. Hopefully it helps. So as always, and I'm getting better at this, everything will be linked below: the shop, the workbook, the newsletter. The newsletter goes out every Sunday, and that's where I get to be more honest on things I'm researching, things I'm helping with the brand, with this practice of being more intentional. So I'd love if you subscribe, click the little bell for a reminder, share, follow, do all the things. And you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Open Day Collective. I'll see you for episode 7.